Wait a minute. My cat doesn't normally have tea and biscuits with me in real life. I must be dreaming. Hello my loves and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is all about lucid dreaming. I am very excited for this video. This is a topic that I am extremely interested in, and if you guys have been following me on Instagram, you've probably seen that I've been researching a lot more in depth into this topic. So if you guys are wondering, I'm someone who had my first lucid dream when I was around 10 years old, and my mom was telling me a little bit about it and how to lucid dream more, and I noticed in my teenage years, I started to lucid dream about every few months, and it wasn't too often, but it was very exciting and fun whenever I did. Then in my early adulthood, I started to lucid dream about once a month, and now I lucid dream at least once a week and sometimes more. If you guys don't know what lucid dreaming is, it is essentially when you wake up in a dream and you realize that you are dreaming. And this is a really fun state because you can begin to interact with your dream, you can begin to control your dream, change your dream, or just observe it. So before we hop into this video, I do want to quickly mention that there is so much more information than just this about lucid dreaming. In this video, we're going to talk about how to lucid dream if you've never lucid dreamt before. We're also going to talk about how to lucid dream more often. We're going to discuss the beautiful things that you can do with lucid dreaming, including the magic of lucid dreaming, including how to heal using lucid dreaming, how to manifest, how to boost your creativity, all these types of things. There is also a lot more information than just this, and lucid dreaming is also a topic that we are still researching even to this day. There's so much we still do not know about it, even though there is a plethora of information out there already. There's still lots that we are still studying to this day, and science is just on the bridge of discovering a lot more about lucid dreaming. So this is a topic that really fascinates me, and I'm really excited for more research to come out about it. But with the research that has been done, we've been able to acquire a lot of knowledge around it and discover a lot of cool things that you can do with lucid dreaming and its actual existence. So if you guys are ready and excited to watch this video, without further ado, let's hop right into it, starting now. Alright, so first off, how to lucid dream even if you've never lucid dreamt before. One of the main points that my mom told me when I was a lot younger, and I've seen a lot of other researchers of lucid dreaming talk about this certain technique, I guess you could call it, or certain knowledge of lucid dreaming. They found that the people that naturally lucid dreamt more were more conscious in their awake state, and the people that never really lucid dreamt often lived their awakened life, their reality, their real reality life, in a more unconscious, autopilot, habitual state and patterned state. So if you're somebody who wakes up in the morning, takes a shower the same way that you always do, dries yourself off with the towel in the same routine that you always do, goes to grab your breakfast, goes to work or school or whatever it is that you do, you come home and you do the same things, and you'll notice that these are usually on an autopilot state, and the reactions that you have to certain scenarios and certain events that happen in your life tend to be habitual responses. This is what keeps you in an autopilot state. This is what keeps you in more of your subconscious mind, because this is where our habits and patterns get projected from. If you're in this state, you'll notice that you don't really wake up in your dreams, and your dreams, maybe you don't even remember them, or you just go through your dreams and they always stay as dreams. You never really become conscious in your dreams. You never really wake up in your dreams. This is one of the reasons why, is because as you're in this more fluid autopilot state, when you go into your dreams, you're also staying in an autopilot state where you're just observing what's around you. You're not actually consciously waking up. So in order to more often or more likely consciously wake up in your dreams, you need to be more conscious in your day-to-day life. So this means when you wake up, being very present in the moment. Stop overthinking things, stop living in the future or living in the past, stop worrying about what's happened in the past, stop worrying about what's about to happen tomorrow or all the things that you need to get done in the day. Take it as it comes and live in the moment and become more conscious in every moment of your waking life. Start to deliberately decide how to react to events. Start to deliberately decide how you want to act while you're taking a shower. Maybe dry yourself off with a towel in a different way. Things that keep your conscious mind conscious rather than in your patterned autopilot state. This will help because all of a sudden when you're dreaming, you're more likely to keep that conscious brain active. This is waking up in your real reality in order to wake up in your dreams, and hopefully this makes sense. This is one of the biggest tools for this. The second method to waking up more often in dreams is to actually start to dream journal. This one is something that helped me out hugely, and it's something that caused me to go from lucid dreaming once in a while, once a month, into lucid dreaming a few or a couple times a week, or at least once a week. So dream journaling is very powerful because you begin to connect with your conscious mind what is a dream and what is reality by just writing down the dreams that you're having, because then your mind goes, oh, this is my dream journal. These are the things that I normally dream about. And you'll start to notice patterns in your dreams. You'll start to notice coincidences in your dreams. Maybe you're somebody who always dreams about flying or always dreams about your cat, things like that. And you might notice different odd things that usually happen in your dreams that happen quite often in your dreams. And I know some of you watching this are going to say, I don't dream at all. I don't know what to write down. That's fine. Get a dream journal. Start to date it. Even if you do not remember anything, just write down, I don't remember anything. This will get you into the habitual pattern of trying to remember your dreams so that when you wake up, your mind quickly goes to, what was I dreaming? I need to write it down. You're more likely to remember it if you try to think about your dream the second that you wake up. You're more likely to hold on to it. Dreams tend to slip very quickly once we wake up, and will tend to start to fade away within the first few minutes after waking up, because we start to become into our more conscious mind and start to disconnect from the subconscious mind. When this happens, you're more likely to forget what you were just dreaming about. So keep a dream journal and start to write down your dreams as soon as you wake up. Getting into this habit, you'll notice that you'll begin to remember your dreams more and more, even if for the first little while you don't remember anything, and maybe you just remember a color, maybe you just remember a feeling that you had in the dream. Maybe you wake up with this feeling that, oh, I knew I was dreaming about something good, or I knew I was dreaming about something scary. Write down just as little or as much as you can remember. And again, as you do this more and more, you will notice that you begin to consciously associate certain things with your dreams. Therefore, you're more likely to become lucid when you experience these things again, and your consciousness is more likely to wake up when experiencing these different things. The third thing that I have for you guys is getting into the habit of cueing yourself throughout the day and asking yourself, am I dreaming? Once you get into this habit, you're more likely to carry that with you into the dream world and ask yourself, am I dreaming? And you're more likely to realize that you're dreaming. And I don't want you guys to take this advice and start doing it like constantly every hour or every 5 minutes, because you'll notice it begins to get boring, and then you begin to lose this habit and you don't want to do it anymore. If you try out the habit of asking yourself at random times throughout the day, am I dreaming? This should be something that's fun, that's exciting to do. So I recommend doing this at times that are of heightened emotion. If something happens, if an event happens in your life, in your waking reality, and you say, ooh, am I dreaming right now? Or if something, exciting happens, or if something sad happens, or if there's news about something, during these elevated emotional times, asking yourself, am I dreaming? Or just setting a reminder in your phone and adding in there a certain little ding that goes off once or twice a day to ask yourself, am I dreaming? You're more likely to carry this with you into your dream state, because it'll become a habitual pattern. And in your dream state, you might notice yourself asking yourself randomly, am I dreaming? And you might realize that you actually are. The fourth thing that I have for you guys is kind of a fun one. This can be a certain object that you have, or just a certain other habitual pattern that you do throughout the day, or a visual thing that you do that you can carry with you into your dream state. And this is kind of fun because personally what I do is I test gravity. That's something that has been a lucidity trigger for me, because I'll notice that in my dream state, gravity tends to be a lot lighter, and I kind of float through a dream. And if I take a step, my step lasts a lot longer. Or I notice that I fly very easily and I'll begin to fly, and this is a big lucidity trigger for me personally. But if this is something that doesn't work for you, there's many other things that you can do, like trying to put a finger through your hand. You'll notice a very weird sensation, and you will actually pierce through your hand if you are dreaming. And of course, if you're in actual reality, your finger isn't going to go through your hand. This can be one lucidity trigger. I did read about somebody who I thought this was like the most fascinating thing ever. Not that I would ever do this personally, but I just thought it was such a fun technique that I wanted to mention it in this video. There's this one guy who experimented a lot with lucid dreaming, and he ended up getting tattoos on his back, I believe, of 2 different samurai swords, or just swords in general, and he had 2 of them on his back as if they were sheathed on his back. And during waking life, he'll try to pull them out and see if they come out, and that's how he'll know if he is dreaming or not, because if he pulls them out in real reality and they of course don't come out because they're tattooed on his back, of course that is real life reality, that is solid reality. But he notices that since this is a habitual pattern, he may tend to do this in his dream as well, and if he comes out and all of a sudden there's swords there, he knows that he's dreaming and all of a sudden he is lucid, because that obviously doesn't happen in real life. So that is his personal lucidity trigger. These types of lucidity triggers can come in any shape or any form. Even just looking at your hands in a dreamscape can give away if you are lucid dreaming or not, because you'll notice that either you don't have hands at all, or there will be sort of a dream body, and you'll notice that your hands don't look like real hands. I personally did this in a dream once, and it was really interesting because in my dream, when I looked at my hands, all of a sudden I had this glowing golden aura around my hands, and I didn't actually have fingers. It was kind of just like hands that were like this, but they were like glowing and they were a lot more tan, but then they had this like gold aura around them. But I remember in my dream, I was like, huh, yeah, they're completely normal. I don't know why everyone talks about having dream hands in the dreamscape, because yeah, totally normal that my hands look like that. And I remember waking up thinking about this dream when I went to go write it down, and I was like, wait a minute, my hands did not look normal at all. I don't know why in my dream state I thought that that was normal. Very interesting. That is a topic that I'll leave for a whole other video, because there's a reason why that is. But another lucidity trigger could be, for example, seeing like people that have passed away and all of a sudden they're back in your life and you're like, whoa, I haven't seen you in so long. And sometimes the dream can feel so real, and this is why a lot of the times we don't wake up in our dreams and we don't realize that we're dreaming, because dream emotions can seem so real that we don't ever consciously ask ourselves like, ooh, am I dreaming? But as long as you keep on the roll of realizing your dreams and writing them down and associating this with dream, and it'll help you kind of put a line between real reality and dream reality, and in this way you will begin to notice when you're dreaming a lot more and become conscious and be able to lucid dream. So those are some of the few methods that there are in order to wake up in your dream and have a lucid dream. So those are just some of the methods. So once you're lucid dreaming, what are some of the cool things that you can do while lucid dreaming? For one, I want to talk about, there are some people that tend to have recurrent nightmares. One cool thing that you can do if you're lucid dreaming is actually change the nightmare, and this ends up healing the nightmare, and normally people never have recurrent nightmares anymore. So if you're somebody who notices you have a lot of scary dreams, when you lucid dream, all of a sudden you can change the dreamscape, because when you're lucid, you can begin to mold and change the reality and the dreamscape that's in front of you. So all of a sudden you can give yourself superpowers and defeat the beast and the monster that was once chasing you. Or you can change the dreamscape to all of a sudden beautiful flowers come about, and all of a sudden you can fly and you can go around anywhere and everything's Gucci. So it's really up to you what you want to do in your dream. You'll notice that you can morph the dream, but another really cool thing that you can do, because dreams do have significance. Dreams are usually the embodiment of your subconscious mind made into a visual. And so it's a time that allows you to interact with your subconscious mind and find out what's really going on. And this can offer some very deep healing. So you'll notice that if you do become lucid in a dream, you can actually interact with your dream no matter what you're dreaming about. If you're dreaming about flowers, if you're dreaming about a dog, if you're dreaming about a person or some other entity or some other thing that's in front of you, you can actually ask that thing what it represents and what it means, and you can actually have a full conversation. This conversation will come from your subconscious mind. This is a projection of your subconscious mind, so it allows you to go in deeper into who you are, to figure out what your own mental blocks are, to figure out more about you and the things that you can change and the things that you can shift and things that you need to heal in your life, all of this kind of stuff. You can even bring in certain scenarios or certain people and ask them certain questions. You can even ask your dreams before you go to sleep at night, whether you're about to lucid dream or not, it doesn't matter. You can actually ask your dreams a certain question, And you might need to do this for a few nights, but your dreams will always give you an answer. And this is why it's very important to keep a dream journal, because then you can write it down and then you can realize the symbolic, metaphorical messages that it might have had for you. Because dreams usually do speak more metaphorically than literally. Sometimes dreams can be literal, but most of the time they're metaphorical. And so writing them down and figuring out the symbolic message behind the dream can be very powerful in terms of healing or in terms of getting answers to certain questions. It will come to you in your dreams. But I will say, becoming lucid during this time can be very powerful, because then of course you can actually interact deliberately and consciously with the dreamscape and figure out deeper messages and actually ask what certain messages may mean and what they are. What do you represent? Remember that time you had a crush on a guy and then your foot got tangled in seaweed at the bottom of the ocean and then you made an absolute fool of yourself? I represent that. Number 2, another really cool thing that you can do with lucid dreaming is, of course, experiencing anything that you want to experience. Dreams are very malleable and they don't have the limitations that our normal reality would. And so if you're really wanting to experience what it's like to fly and soar above the clouds and do all these different things, you can experience this. If you want to experience what it's like to go on a date with your favorite celebrity, you can do that in a dream if that's something that you desire. If you desire to go deeper into a very deep meditation or astral travel, that is something you can do when you become lucid as well. If you become lucid in a dream, it's much more likely that you can deliberately astral travel, especially if you've noticed you've had trouble doing this normally in dreams or in a deep meditation. If you can train yourself to become lucid, you are this much closer to becoming an astral traveler and a conscious astral traveler. There will be more on that specific topic in a later video, but now to my next point. This brings me to my next point. So since there's a much broader land and conscious area that you can experience in your dreamland that doesn't have the limitations of reality, you can boost your creativity in this area. So say you're somebody who wants to paint a new painting but you don't have inspiration yet, or you write music but you can't think of fun melodies yet. Whatever the case may be, in your dreamscape, since there's no limitations on your conscious mind, you can tap into this unlimited area of deeper creativity that you've never experienced before. In this area, if you try to write a poem, if you try to come up with a new melody, if you try to paint a new drawing, you'll do things that you could have never even fathomed of in waking reality. And this is actually a tool that some certain artists actually use. They actually use lucid dreaming in order to come up with things that they've never even thought of or never even could fathom of in waking reality. So this is another very fun, very exciting, explorative tool that you can use, and you can take what you've experienced in this dreamscape subconscious reality and actually bring it back into real life reality by waking up, writing down your dream as soon as you wake up so that you don't lose it and you don't forget it. And then you've now brought back something from an entirely different reality, which is crazy. The significance that dreams have and the amount that you can do with them is entirely so fascinating. We're not even awake in our bodies, we're awake in our minds. We don't have the real limitations, and we can create something in this world and actually bring it back to this physical world and bring it into existence here, which is absolutely fascinating. So you can use this as a form of manifestation if you've wanted to manifest a brand new painting, something that you've never even thought of before, and bring it back to this reality and create it here. Or for example, if you're trying to manifest something, say you're trying to manifest something that you've really always wanted, you can experience it in your dreamscape reality. You can interact with your dreamscape and ask it to show you what you need to do in order to attain these things, and watch and observe what happens in this dream state and symbolically reference it when you wake up and start to realize what it might be telling you. And this is where you can get inspiration to then take inspired action in your waking reality to get closer to your dreams, to get closer to your goals, and find out what it's really telling you. What is it showing you? Maybe it's going to show you where you're currently blocked and why these things aren't currently manifesting into your life right now. The amount that you can do in your lucid dreams is limitless. It is so limitless because there's no restriction of actual reality on you at this time. The amount of things that you can do and experience, the answers you can get, the creativity that you can find, the manifesting abilities that you can have in this area, it is so limitless and so exciting. And then when you come back to this real reality, you come back with something that's unfathomable in this reality, which is so exciting. My advice is try meditating in a lucid dream as well. See how interesting those feelings are. Try to explore yourself a little bit more. You get to know a whole new side of yourself that you never even get to tap into in your waking life. You also add a whole new depth and a whole new layer onto your life, because for a good, huge portion of your life is spent sleeping. If you can now become conscious and use part of this sleeping state to become conscious and do more, life becomes so much more fulfilling, so much deeper. So these are just some of the reasons why I'm so fascinated by lucid dreaming. So I highly recommend searching into it more if you guys are interested. These are pretty much all the points that I have for today's video. There's lots more that we can explore in the future, but I'll be doing lots of research until then and lots more of my own personal experiences until then. And yes. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a really big thumbs up for me. Hit that subscribe button down below if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.